Hi, this is Keith Nash, and welcome to Streetscape Studios. I've got an awesome special guest today with me today, Mr. Dan Main from Gershman Mortgage.
Hey, Keith.
Dan,
Thanks for having me.
thanks for driving in the rain today and coming out to the studios today.
Just another beautiful day.
Yeah, so tell the viewers what's going on, man. You're in the mortgage business. You're an entrepreneur here in the local area, and thanks for coming out.
Thanks a lot. Glad to be here. And yeah, I've been financing homes since 1997 and live here in St. Charles County. Raised my family here in St. Charles. So live here, work here, play here. And it's a privilege to be here with you today.
Thank you. Now, it's a business spotlight, so talk about the business you're in. You and I have been to the trenches and back. We've done business together before. Talk about your business and what's going on in the mortgage world.
Great question. And what's going on in the mortgage world? I'd share with you, financing a home should be a fun and enjoyable experience. And all too often, folks get caught up in the idea of shopping for the lowest interest rate. And I guess the paradigm shift there is the promise of a low rate holds no value when your closing day gets compromised. So I share it with you in an analogy like this. Imagine your whole life packed up on a truck and you're days away from closing day,
Yeah.
and your loan gets denied. Imagine explaining that to your spouse, your significant other, that, well, we were promised a low rate.
Or your former significant other at that point.
That's sure. Now he'd buy two houses. So the promise of a low rate sometimes holds no value when you compromise the whole closing day. So as I share with the folks that I meet with, buying and financing homes should be a fun and enjoyable experience. It should not be a stressful, anxious time in life. So if there's something that doesn't make sense, they get the remote control to hit pause. We'll kind of back up, make sure they understand each step. And you've owned a home, you sell many homes, you've had the good fortune of helping hundreds of people over your career buy and sell homes. There's a lot of parties it takes to bring together financing and closing on a home between the realtor and your mortgage guy, insurance agent, you'll have a building inspector, appraiser, survey, so just to name a few. There's a lot of vendors it takes. So I share with our folks that we'll deliver the keys on the day you expect to get your keys, and there's a reason top realtors like you recommend me to work with their people. So there's a reason for that. So awesome. Thank you.
Dan shared with me, and you shared with me about how you got into the mortgage field. Talk about how you wanted to be. Talk about it.
How about that? I've read a couple books, as a lot of people do, and early on, I knew I wanted to be in sales, and I thought I really wanted to be a realtor. And just out of happenstance, an opportunity was presented to me to get into the mortgage industry, so I thought I'd give that a try, learn the mortgage component of it, and someday I would transition into becoming a realtor. And 21 years later, I'm still doing mortgages, and I've not transitioned, and I enjoy working with you.
And what's the difference between the real estate aspect and then the mortgage aspect for you? I mean, because to me, I couldn't imagine doing what you do, Dan, as far as the number crunching and then paycheck stubs and all that. I would go bonkers. I like being out in the field, doing this, having fun with the customers. Why the mortgage aspect versus the real estate aspect for you?
Great question. And I guess, one size does not fit all, but, for a realtor to accept the job as a realtor, it's not a part-time job. It's very much a full-time job. And I think many get into real estate thinking, oh, I can do this part-time, or I can do this on the side. Well, when you become a realtor, by nature, you're working evenings, weekends, and holidays. You're working when everybody else is not at work. And then while they are at work, you're doing behind the scenes. You're pulling your comps, your comparables, your radius searches. You're helping them find the homes. So your job really is like endless.
Yeah.
And it's funny, people ask me, what are your hours? All of them. I work all of them. And so for me, doing the number crunching is really my passion. I really enjoy it. And all too often, I actually, probably a third of the business I originate comes from other entities, other mortgage companies that can't find a way, or they overpromised and underdelivered. And unfortunately, I have the fortune of helping a lot of people get their home financing straightened out. I had one just the other day where the client was 2 weeks away from closing and was told no.
2 weeks.
2 weeks away from closing, told no. We've got it turned around, and I texted the client last night, you're clear to close. And he's like, total disbelief. And back to your question.
What was my question?
Why I enjoy mortgage. And it's finding the fun and the challenge of making something work, especially when someone else says no. So I really work hard at treating people like people and not just a mortgage. And so sometimes the answer is no, and it's going to be no, and it's no today. No, not right now, but here's how we can get mortgage ready. So I've even worked with people to help them get mortgage ready to where in the future it gives them hope, something to look forward to, instead of just no and next. So I really treat people like people, and sometimes the challenge is making it work or finding a way when someone else may have been quick to just to say no and move on. And I guess my call to action for anyone watching, the viewers, is you are the next person you think about buying, selling, or refinancing real estate, ask them to give me a call, or I'd be happy to call them. I can leave you my phone number, text, or a phone call. It works great. You can reach me at 636-284-4144. And, for your next home loan, don't go it alone. Just call Dan for your home finance plan.
There we go.
I'm licensed in Missouri and in Colorado, so if you want to move out west, I'd be happy to meet you out there, and I'll fly out and attend your closing, and then we'll go snow skiing together.
Well, Dan, thanks for coming out to Streetscape Studios. Thanks again to Jim Long, Matt Schmidt for setting everything up.
Thank you,
and
gentlemen.
Dan, thank you so
Pleasure.
much for coming out.
Had a lot of
Keith
fun.
Nash, and like us and share us. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Take care.